When we think of the fall of Rome, most of us imagine the same scene: barbarians at the gates, collapsing legions, palace intrigues. But here's the real truth. Empires don't fall only because of external forces. Real collapse starts from within. And more often than not, the reason is money. Rome didn't fall just because of wars. The real blow came from debasing its own currency. And this is still a relevant lesson for countries today that think printing money solves problems. Let's look at what happened in the past. For centuries, the backbone of Rome's economy was the silver denarius. When it was first minted in 211 BC, it was nearly pure silver. The soldier trusted it, the merchant trusted it. Ordinary people stored their wealth in it. The denarius wasn't just a coin, it was Rome's credibility in metal form. But running a massive empire isn't easy. Soldiers, roads, fortresses, wars. All of it meant enormous costs. When taxes weren't enough, emperors tried a simple but risky method: reducing the silver content in the currency. At first no one noticed, but over time the silver in the denarius dropped sharply. During Augustus it was 95%. Under Caracalla it fell to 50%. And by the time of Gallienus it had dropped below 5%. In other words, the money people held in their hands had turned into a hollow piece of metal. And inflation exploded. Prices soared. Soldiers started shouting, "Raise our pay." Merchants said, "This money has no value, I won't accept it." People returned to bartering. Once trust breaks, money loses its value. Rome learned this the hard way. All this combined with the 3rd century crisis, and things went from bad to catastrophic. For roughly 50 years, Rome faced invasions, plagues, civil wars, and economic collapse. Emperors changed almost monthly. The tax system fell apart, trade disintegrated. Diocletian tried to solve the crisis by fixing prices. But if your money is already worthless, how do you fix prices? The result, the black market exploded. Formal trade nearly stopped. Eventually, Rome abandoned the denarius, and Constantine introduced the solidus. This brought some stability, but for the Western Empire it was already too late. The currency had collapsed, and the state soon followed. Now let's look at today. Debasing money is debasing the foundation of a state. Rome thought it could fool the public by lowering the cost of minting money. Many countries today do something similar: printing money, manipulating interest rates, inflating away debt. The result is always the same. The public pays the price. Savings lose value. Trust evaporates. Germany experienced this in 1923. The price of bread rose from 1 mark to 200 billion marks in just a few months. Money lost so much value that people carried their salaries in wheelbarrows. In Zimbabwe in 2008, prices nearly doubled every single day. The country became so poor it couldn't even afford basic necessities. And modern economies? They are still using the Roman model. The U.S. detached the dollar from gold in 1971, and since then money has been based on one thing: trust. But trust has worn thin under unlimited borrowing and money printing. The dollar looks the same, but its purchasing power has silently eroded for decades. The difference today is this: this time the entire world is tied to the same system. A shock in one place affects everyone. In short, history keeps teaching the same lesson. If you play with money, society pays the price. So, what should we take away from this as individuals? Inflation is not an accident. It is a policy. Real wealth has always been in land, production, and skill, not in the numbers we see on screens. Nothing bad will happen here is one of the most dangerous assumptions. Rome believed that. Germany believed that. Zimbabwe believed that. And anyone who doesn't learn the lesson repeats it. When money collapses, society collapses. Contracts lose value. Trade grinds to a halt. Soldiers disperse, and the state loses authority.